Karen Bonafilio, welcome back to Inner Realms and Outer Journeys. We have Simon back again. And you know how I feel about Simon. He's a wealth of knowledge. Simon, would you like to say hello before we start?
Yes, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. But thank you for letting me come on board again, Karen. Always a pleasure.
Oh, I love having you on. And I love what we're talking about today. We're talking about energy and we're talking about um, the snake shedding its skin and the fire horse is here. And we were talking before the show, and he was clearing some things up for me. And so, but I have some more questions for him. So, Simon, let's talk about energy. Let's talk about energy. What is going on in our planetary system and our world and how it's affecting us?
It's certainly an interesting time at the moment, isn't it? And I don't even think that's the right word to use to tell the truth, because
Yeah.
we all know what's going on around the world at the moment. But this is something it's something I've thought about, discussed, and realised. And there's many different things you can do spiritually, Reiki and mediumship cycle. We've talked about them all. Everyone knows about all the different views. You have many different guests come on that are
Yep.
very learned and know their field, and it's all amazing. And it can get confusing. It's like, what does it all mean? How does it all apply to me? I'm
Mhm.
just whoever you are. I'm just somebody who's just getting on with my life and fighting my own battles each day and living your own world. And how does it affect? And this is what I want to talk about when I talk about energy. I'm not talking about the Holy Ghost. I'm not talking about spirit. I'm not talking about anything like that. Energy can just be as simple as about your own nervous system, your own mood swings, how you're feeling in that day.
Mhm.
We all know what it's like. One day you can wake up feeling elated on top of the world and get on with the day, and another
Mhm.
day you can get up and feel completely on the floor and down because you've got some issues going on in your life. So,
Right.
what does energy mean exactly? So, we've got all this going on at the moment. We've discussed it about um, on the 17th last year, came out the year of the snake, and we ended up in the year of the horse of the Chinese zodiac, and the energies that implies with this snake shedding the old skin. So, what does that mean to you as a normal person? Well, you're shedding your own life, your old life, bits that no longer are going to serve you moving forward. And again, what does that mean? Could that mean, it could mean, breaking up in relationships. It could mean changing locations. It could mean changing jobs. It could be changing your mindset, having a different emotional outlook
Mhm.
on
Okay.
things, mental outlook on things. Whatever's going on in your life in that time, so sometimes when things are being taken out of your life, or there's disruption, or there's change, and things end up leaving your life, then that could be part of this year of the snake and everything else. And then you got the year of the horse that kicked in on the 17th, and on the same day we had a solar eclipse and a new moon, so it was very powerful energies, and that's why the horse sort of bolted off. So for the last couple of weeks, I would say, yeah, 2 weeks have been a bit of a roller coaster for a lot of people. Every day up and down, feeling
I
different.
know.
I've got friends. You even mentioned it yourself, Karen. Um,
Mhm.
feeling emotional or angry. I've got a friend who never ever gets angry, and even he was saying, he was getting road rage the other day, and he stopped halfway through and go, "What am I
Oh,
doing?"
wow.
And this is what's happening. And so
Mhm.
when these things happen, we've got to go for it. We've got to live our normal life as we do, but pay attention to our mood swings, how we're feeling, situations that seem to come up out of nowhere. They're out of the blue, and you thought, "I thought I dealt with this." Next thing you know, you're having to deal with it, or deal with it again, or
Yeah.
because it obviously hasn't been resolved in one way or another. So there's a lot of turmoil going on for everyone, up, down. But all know this, that whatever's happening is happening for a reason, and that eventually, it I saw a short the other day of a bunch of actors actually talking, and I think it was Tom Hanks who was mentioning it. And
Oh,
there's a proverb saying about, someone was saying, how wonderful their life is, how amazing it is, and how great everything is going for them. And this old wise man said to him, that soon shall pass. That feeling, that moment, that short
oh,
pass. And like many weeks later, that same person was saying differently, saying, oh, everything's going wrong for me. Why is everything going, nothing's going right for me, everything's going wrong. And that wise man once again said, that soon shall pass. So everything will
yes.
pass. Everything keeps moving. Everything comes. So this is the fluid part. This is when I say about feel the energy and go with the flow. So if things are happening, deal with them. It's your life. You deal with them. You make the decisions. You make the choices that you wish, but they've been brought up for a reason. So deal with them and then let them go. If new things come into your life, then that's the opportunities. And that's the thing about letting go of things or things that change or things that happen, because it creates space to allow new stuff into your life. Now,
Is this going to be happening the whole year as we go through
no,
the?
no, no. This is a
Okay.
short period because we're now in the, as I said, we're now into the year of the horse, and some people call it the fire horse and everything else. And fire horse is also linked to the fact that we had on the 17th when it started a solar eclipse, and tomorrow is the blood moon, full moon, but it's also a lunar eclipse. So it's eclipse season. So it was a very powerful bookend period of time. And I believe that tomorrow things are going to start moving forward for a lot of people. You may have to dot the I's and cross the T's on one or two things in your life
Okay.
and tidy up a few things, but things are going to start moving forward. Now, a lot of people at the moment, myself included in this, are sitting here going, well, I haven't got a clue how things are going to move forward or how things are going to change because everything seems up in the air at the moment. Not really sure where I'm going, not really sure what's
Yep.
happening. That's part of all the energies. That creates the
Okay.
discombobulation within us, the irritation, because we fall into the trap then. We overthink things and then we project, because we all talk about manifestation and everything else. We think, oh, this is what I want to happen, or what's going on, because, oh, I can't tell what's going on because all the changes that are happening. So you end up in this mindset, and then that makes it worse for ourselves, and we push ourselves onto a level where we're heightened and we're constantly stressing and worrying. All we can do is just deal with what's in front of us. Every day, when there's periods like this, get on with what you got to do. Carry on with your normal day. And if things come up, whether they're past issues or things just come up in the moment, deal with them then. And then, and your question was, is this going to go on for the whole year? No, the momentum's going to go on for the whole year because we're in the year of the horse, and the horse
Yes.
is a momentum
Yeah.
of moving forward and having that
Mhm.
power and that strength. Now, as regards what choices you make and where you go and what you do, as it always is, that's your choice. That's how we live our life. That's how we learn our lessons. We live by our choices. So that's your choice. So no one should ever say to you what you can and can't do on that. But you will move forward. But as regards to discombobulation, that will start to settle over the coming weeks.
Okay.
And
That
I really
that
do feel March is going to be that transition from, like I said, shedding the old of the year of the snake. We've just had a couple of weeks of real discombobulated energy of removing things that are no longer going to serve us moving
yes.
forward.
Yes.
And it was like a 2 week period of like, are you sure this is what, or if anything you haven't removed, we're giving you that last opportunity to remove it, so on and so forth. I think tomorrow is going to have another energy shift with the blood moon and the full
Because of the
moon,
moon. Mhm.
everything else. Also, don't forget, ladies and gents, we're also in Mercury retrograde until about the 21st of March,
Yep.
which takes everything up, especially on an emotional level, and can create, agitation and anger and things like that. So be aware of these emotional shifts. And that's what we're going through, all going through. And it's a clearing, it's a preparation, it's a timeline shift, it's an alignment to get us where we need to be able to move forward in our lives and start inviting the opportunities, start inviting the new beginnings, whether they are rekindling new things or something completely new, or a new job, or just a new vigor, a new confidence that drives you forward and do the things that you want to do. But out of all this discombobulation up and down and turmoil that's going on, underneath it all, if you actually sit and close your eyes and just sit and be, you can feel that positive energy just bubbling underneath the surface like a volcano, just waiting to erupt and come out and push us forward finally once
Mm.
we've cleared what we needed to clear. So, as regards how long it's going to go for, I think March is the transition period from stagnation to actually start moving. So I think things are going to start to move in March, and come sort of April or May, that's when we start being in full flow and things will start happening.
The flow getting
But
better
we're
again.
also on a grander picture thing. I talked about it individually there because, how does Joe blogs on, just any normal high street or any normal sidewalk, just walking down the street, just on with his day, how can he change everything and what's going on with energies? What does it affect him? So that's on the individual level. But when we're talking about the grand scheme of things, when we're talking about the planetary, again, look at what's happening in the world. There's massive changes going on. And I just do believe it's part of the battle of the light and the dark about control and everything else like that. And the only way we can change this individually as people
I
is
agree with
to
that.
change ourselves by
Hmm.
becoming the best versions of ourselves. Myself included, you self included, Karen, everybody. No one's better or lower than the other. We all have things that we can do. And if we can make the better version of ourselves and become better people and actually become more authentic or more true to ourselves or understanding ourselves better and get out of the world in a better energy, then that collective energy of all of us doing that will make the difference.
Simon, I got a question. I know from a spiritual level that you are supposed to send love and give love to all energies, to all people, to everyone, because we are all just actors on a stage and we are playing out whatever we have planned for us. I feel so powerless right now with people in charge of my world that I get very, very, like I told you, I got angry. And I don't get angry. I can usually, figure out a way to figure things out, but I get angry. So I just, I don't know. I don't even know what my question was, but I did have one when I
Well,
started.
the way I see it, the way I took it, and as I was listening to you, I'm going to think it's quite ironic because I've had that in my head for a little while now about this battle, about unconditional love and all the rest of it. And I can respect somebody who opposes what I believe and perceive. I have no issues with that. And I can give them unconditional love in the sense of I wish that person no harm.
Okay.
But you can also still choose to say, I don't agree with that. And I want to live my life this way. And that's fine. Just because unconditional love isn't about everybody agreeing. Unconditional love, in
No.
my mind, isn't about
Hmm.
uh, and it's not even about forgiveness because I can forgive everybody and anybody in one way or another, but you still have the right to say I forgive you, but I want to move on, or don't wish to have that aspect. It's and that's okay. The point is about unconditional love in my eyes, and it goes um, along the Buddhist theology, as in the whole Buddhist theology is about ending human suffering, and the only way to end human suffering is end it in here.
No, in the
And this is
mind.
what it's all about. It's all about us and about our
Mhm.
mind. So unconditional love is having no hatred or thoughts or energies towards somebody just because I don't agree with them or they've done something wrong. But it's also having unconditional love for yourself that as you walk away, that you don't carry that with you, that you let it go. Because it's only us that end up suffering. How many times do we sit there worrying about something that we perceive that somebody done to us or it's a trigger or trauma, and we've held on to it for years, days, weeks, months, years, decades sometimes. And it's you that ends up suffering. So unconditional love isn't just about forgiving or giving that other person. You're not accepting or agreeing or even condoning what they say or what they've done. What you're saying is, I have no hatred or ill will towards you. I wish you no harm. But at the same time, I don't want that aspect in my life.
Okay, that's good because I'm not sending out that kind of energy.
No. So now the
Yeah,
next step of unconditional love is you. Right? So you're not sending it out. So you stand there and go, why am I feeling angry? What's making me why am I feeling that anger within me? Because a situation, a person or whatever, yes, certain things can happen, but when we have a reaction within us, an emotional reaction in us, or we believe or perceive something against somebody else, and you don't wish them ill will, and you go on, you're still having that battle inside your mind because you're like,
yeah.
I feel angry. Why? Like you are now. You go, why am I feeling angry? I don't feel
Mhm.
angry. Why? Why has this made me angry? You're the one that's suffering now. So unconditional for your love for you is to let that anger go. It doesn't matter. It's not happening
I
to you.
okay. Step out of it.
Step out of it.
Step out
That's
of
the
it.
love for yourself. Step out of it. Why am I angry? I have no reason to feel angry now. Nothing's happened to me. Let it go.
I
That's
did. I
unconditional love
that
for yourself.
and that's what I did. I did step out of it.
Mm.
I
But
did.
if you
So
stay in that energy, that's when you end up, or you'll end up overthinking things, start creating a picture or an image of things that may not necessarily be true. But also remember in the moment, exactly that in the moment. A moment is now. That moment's now gone. Another moment now. That moment's now gone. So it doesn't
yeah.
matter how far past it is. Everything just is constantly changing. So why do we keep hold of things that are in the path that are no longer serving us?
I held on, and this is nothing to do with the fire horse and the snake, but I held on to anger that someone had done to me for so many years. And I'm going to tell you when I finally realized the role that we were playing. Oh my God, it was so freeing. It
The
was so,
release, the free, exactly.
yeah,
I've I've in my own way, I've had issues of fear and all that that have created a trap for myself. I created it myself, and the mindset. So all of this isn't about, because a lot of people, it's about removing people or ending relationships or, like I said, a new job or whatever. For me, it
mhm,
wasn't. For me, this is about me. All this period of time was how many barriers and things I've created by my own self, by my own energy, as in I was in a state of fear over something, and that fear can control everything
oh
about you.
God, fear.
Um,
That's a bad place to live.
It's a
Yeah.
very bad place to live, and people can
Mm.
talk about anger and everything else, but fear that underpins fear is the thing that stops us from doing everything.
Right. It can paralyze you.
It can paralyze
Mhm.
you, and I don't just mean about mentally and all that. I mean even down to worrying about crossing the road. Is it okay to cross the road? There's a fear. You have to look at fear is something. If you're stopping yourself from doing something or stopping yourself from moving forward, I guarantee you it will be because of fear.
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
where that fear comes from, obviously, only you can find that out or work that out and be able to remove it and thing. But this is the point. We can talk about all this spiritual stuff, all this
Yep.
energy stuff. We can talk about Buddhism, Taoism. We can talk about every Christianity, Judaism. We could talk about every aspect of spirituality and faith and everything else. At the end of the day, everything comes down to one thing: you.
Mhm.
How do you live your life? Do you live your life in fear? Do you live your life feeling free and doing what you want? Do you want to be a good person? Then you get into the realms of what is a good person. But Do you want to be an affable person, a happy person? Everything we do, everything we are, everything that we become, it's all down to us. Even when things happen to us, is that person's fault, or was it our fault for putting ourselves in that position for that to happen in the first place? Now, I grant you, sometimes things just happen to us, and we can be in certain situations and things like that. But how do we move forward? How do we become? Everything comes down to us. And that's our journey.
And I,
And everybody's journey is different and unique. And we all know about the jokes about, ingredients to make a cake and everything else. Yes, I
mhm,
may be a Dundee cake. You may be a Victoria sponge. And we've got different ingredients. And those
mhm,
ingredients are our experiences. And our experiences are going to be different. Mine are different to yours, Karen. Yours are different to mine, and so
mhm,
on and so forth. And we fall into this programming of believing that we have to live a life in a certain way because of the
mhm.
programming, the human system that we live in, that this is wrong and that's right and this is indifferent. And well, who says? Somebody at some point turned around and said, well, I think that's wrong. We know deep down what's right and wrong within us. We've
Right,
got a soul. When we're doing something, we feel bad about it, or it doesn't feel right. When we're doing something right, it lifts us, it elates us, it makes us feel good.
right, right.
So everything comes down to us. And we can
And-
go out into the world and research and learn as many different things, get as many different certificates, and learn different ways on how to live. But at the end of the day, everything is down to you. What decisions you make, what you agree, what you perceive, what you believe. And they're all based on your own experiences. And you're going to have a
Mhm,
view to me because my experiences are different to yours, and so on and so forth. This is where tolerance come in. This is where I believe communication, talk to people, whether it's 100 conversations or one conversation, have those conversations, because the night most of the time you'll walk away and you go, do you know what, I didn't think of it like that before, I didn't see it that way before. Well, you wouldn't, because you haven't come from their point of view, you haven't had to step through their life, so you may not
right.
have seen it that way. But we get stuck in this ego. We have to be heard. We have to feel that it's, that our voice is louder than the nest, because I'm trying to do the right thing, and because I'm trying to do the right thing, that trumps every other voice. Well, who says I'm doing the right thing? Someone could see what I'm doing as wrong, or self-serving, or ulterior motives and stuff like that. And it's all about perceptions of belief. So you've got to believe in you and understand that everything is about you. So how do you want to be, and how do you want to move forward, and what kind of person do you want to be? It's as simple as that.
And Simon, I think that people also forget, they think that everything is happening to them, that the world is happening to them. And I think that sometimes people forget how powerful they truly are,
Yes,
how they can change things, and the power that they really have
I've been in
within
that.
them.
I put my hand up. I've been in that mindset at points in my life where I believe things are happening to me, and that's not a good place to be. And you have to
Yep.
work your way through that. You have to work your
Yeah.
way through that, work your way out of it, and the one way to work your way out of it, through experience, is by standing up and speaking your voice and saying, "This is not what I want," or "This is now," and actually starts
Mhm.
what they call speaking your truth. You know, you can speak, you can say what you believe, you can say how you saw things or what you think is happening, but as long as it's your truth, speak it. And there will be people that are going to disagree with you, but they're not attacking you. That's just because they disagree with you. They're not attacking you. They're not saying it's your fault. And if someone disagrees with you, you're not attacking them. You're just saying, this is how I feel.
Exactly.
This is how
Exactly.
I saw things. But
Mhm.
again, because of the human ego, because of social programming, because of the way that we've all been brought up and experiences we have, and the way that the world is at the moment, and this is where it's changing. This is where I believe, as the world as a whole, as I went to, as the bigger picture is changing, people are
Mhm.
starting to question things on a fundamental level. Since
Which is
around COVID
fabulous.
time,
Yes.
since around COVID time, or just before COVID, or during COVID time, or whatever, a lot of people woke up and they started questioning, and they
Mhm.
started questioning about the way things are done, and fairness and unfairness, and hang on, what's truth and what's not true, what's real and what's not real, what's belief, what's perception. And
Mhm.
although it's caused all this turmoil that we've had the last 5, 6 years,
A lot.
I think
A
this is
lot of
part
turmoil.
a lot of
Yeah.
turmoil, and I think all what we're going through now with the year of the snake and the forward and the time shifting and the energy shifting and the realignment of timelines, I think this is a culmination of it all. And if there's a saying that the reality is going to split into two, as in,
What's going to experience reality?
yeah, because when you think about it, that nothing's ever real, it's all a belief and a perception, everything else, and that reality is
Yes.
going to split into two, as in we're going to go down one or two ways. And which way do you want to be? Do you want to be down the dark path, or do you want to be down the light path? Now the light path is enlightening beings completely changing the way the whole world lives, not just individually, but the whole world lives.
Right.
Even talking,
Yes.
communicate more, no wars, all that sort of stuff, and being that much more enlightened. Or we go down the route of being dictated to, being sheep, followed rules, regulations, can't do this, can't do that, always wars going on, divisions, and so on and so forth. And which
Right.
side of the
Right.
path you want to be. And the only way to go down the light path is by standing up and learning your lessons and trying to move forward and have compassion, forgiveness for people, and communicate.
Yeah.
Most of all, communicate. People just are not communicating. We get a feeling and a thought in our head, it triggers an old trauma. We put it together as a jigsaw piece that's put together wrong, and then we come out with something that isn't true or isn't correct, and then it causes even more problems. So it's communicate with people, talk, understand that everybody does have a different
Yes.
view. Now, unconditional love isn't about, you can still say, I don't agree with that and I don't want you in my life, but there's no hatred there. It's just someone
Right.
taking the decision, I want to walk down this path or that path or whatever.
Right.
And that's
Exactly.
fine. And that's okay. Um, people just,
And I know, Simon,
everyone's
that
just trying to find their way at the moment, I believe.
they are trying to find their way. They are. And, you know, think about how many people there are in the world. Not everybody's going to agree with you. They're
Exactly.
just not. And you just accept where they are at that time.
I heard an old saying years ago, and I actually like it. They say if someone's firing bullets at you, then you're obviously doing something right. And I know it's a figurative, I mean, figurative thing, obviously.
I know.
I mean,
Yeah. I haven't
verbal
heard that.
bullets, whatever. But I always find that's true. If someone's standing there pointing fingers at you, you're obviously. I do tend to find most people are trying to do something right or trying to change or whatever. But we all
Mhm.
have our opinions. We all have our views on things, but our opinions and views I find tend to always be pointed outwards. It's their fault, it's his fault,
Oh,
it's that fault, it's da, 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 da.
yes,
When
yes,
do
yes,
we
yes,
ever
yes.
stop and go, how could I do things better?
That's so perfect. Simon, that is. I know so many people that live that other way, and they're always pointing it out to this is what they're doing, this is what they're doing, but not taking a part of what you are doing or how
Exactly.
you can help.
And it's not about blame or saying, sorry, that was my fault, or it's their fault. It's not about that.
Hmm.
It is about just us improving our souls, us as a people. Because if we're spiritual, we believe that there's many lives to go forward onto, whatever.
Yes.
Wouldn't we all rather just be able to move forward in a happy frame of mind, or a better frame of mind, a more loving frame of mind? You know,
Mhm.
yeah, people do bad things, but people do bad things. 9 times out of 10, it's a mistake. The situation that they're in, they believe they're trying to do the right thing. Again, it's all perceptions and belief. And it's like animals. A dog and a cat. They spend 100% of its time being a dog and a cat. It's only us human thinks that, that's wrong what they've just done. You shouldn't have done that. How does a dog know? I've just done that because I'm just doing what a dog does. See what I mean?
my,
Do you see that? Do you
yeah,
see
my
that
dogs
sort
are
of
being
analogy?
good.
So everybody do something, and yeah, there's some bad things. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's exceptions to the rule. Of course there is.
Yes, yes,
But
yeah.
even people that have done bad things, when you look at their life, and why they done some bad things or whatever, you can sort of start painting a picture. And I'm not saying you know you condone what they done, but you can sort of start to understand why someone would have ended up on the path that they did, or the decisions they made, or whatever it is they did, because basically, again, we don't know every step of their life. So, but we always sit in judgment, and I
That's not a
think.
good place to be.
Sorry.
Sitting in judgment is not a real good place to be.
It's not, but again, that's ego.
Um,
We all do it at time to time. Those who are aware of it try and reduce it or stop it. Even
mhm.
turning around and someone saying thank you, but no thank you, I want to move on with life is a form of judgment in its own way. But it's I don't carry any hatred or bad energy for anybody. You know, for anybody that I may agree or disagree with, and anyone who agrees or disagrees with me, I carry no negative energy towards them. I understand that it's a different belief and perception, and sometimes people just need to let go and agree to disagree, or bygones to be bygones, and all the other superlative sort of things we can come up with about it all. It's just we're just all going through a difficult time at the moment. Like we were talking before we came on, Karen, like you said about how your energy's been up and down and the angers and things like that, and you're noticing things about yourself that I'm like, I don't normally do this. What's going on? So
Mhm.
all I'm trying to say is everybody just have a little bit of understanding. If we're getting het up, if we're getting heightened, if we're finding we're feeling angry, or some form of negativity, fear, or whatever it is, just stop and take a deep breath. Allow the energies to sort of settle a little bit and
You're the
gain
second person
control of
that told me
yourself.
that. Mhm.
Yeah.
You're the second
And,
person
and
in a few days. Just take a breath and then step back before anything else. Just
one of the
stop
best
your
ones to do is say about taking a breath. It's very cool. Take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, and do
out
it
through the
that
mouth.
way. Three, and you'll instantly calm your nervous system. You'll feel it come down a couple of notches, and you feel okay.
What if it's not fear, Simon? Because I made it through the holidays, which is really tough, which can be really tough with grief. And the last few days, I've been hit with grief, and I'm thinking, why? Why? There's not now. I know
Same
why
thing.
because of the energy, but now I know why.
Exactly, but now there you go. But it's not just fear; it's any energy, because what is an energy in the human body? It's your nervous system reacting to something, making you feel in a particular way, whether it's fearful, grief, sadness, happiness, whatever. It's your nervous system. So if it's grief, still take deep breaths, bring your nervous. Don't see it as, oh, this is grief, I need to do this. This is fear, I need to do that. This is happiness, I need to do that. See it as a physical reaction in your body, as in your nervous system. So if you're seeing fear, deal with it in the same way. If you're seeing grief, or you're feeling grief and sadness, deal. First step, just take some deep breaths, 3 in through the
Okay.
nose, out through your mouth, with any emotion that you're feeling. Bring that nervous system down. Then you can start to process what you suddenly just felt and why and everything else, because you're dealing with it in a calmer way.
I needed to have this conversation with you 2 days ago.
Because think about it, when we say fear, sadness, grief, what are they? They're labels. They're labels that someone has come up with for us, other people. When they say, I'm sad, we instantly know what they're talking about. So it's a label. Okay. But when we're dealing with it in the moment, you're not sitting there going, oh, I'm in grief, I'm feeling sad, I'm angry, I'm this, or whatever. You're just feeling whatever it is you're feeling. So let's deal with that, the physical feeling. Bring that emotion down, bring the nervous system down, bring the height and the tension, bring that all down. See it as that, and just put your mind and say, I'll deal with the mental and the emotional part in a second. I'm just dealing with the physical self right in this moment.
Okay, I want to tell you something that I wrote down that you said, and I'm going to start saying this. Thank you, but no thank you. I want to move on with my life. I really like that. That's a good one. Thank you, but no thank you.
Yes,
Um,
exactly. It's
I just want to
we're
move
we're
on.
so frightened. I've fallen into the trap as well. We're so frightened of making choices.
Mm-hmm.
because we're fearful of A, the outcome, B, what people will say, B, what people will think. We don't know what the outcome is. And so what stops us from then moving forward is that fear of what the outcome's going to be and so it's that fear. So when you say thank you but no thank you, the amount of times we don't say things to people because we're frightened of their reaction, so we don't say anything, and then it trundles on and goes on and on and on until it explodes. And sometimes if you communicate and you say thank you but no thank you, that's not what I wish, or that's not what I want in my life, that's not you or anyone being horrible to anybody else. That's you just
Right.
making a
Taking care of
a
yourself.
sovereign decision for yourself to say, "This is my body, this is my energy, and I do not want that energy in my life." And that is perfectly okay to do that. But then we get into that trap again. We're fearful of what people will react, how they react, like, and some people do feel it as a personal. Oh, don't you like me? What have I done wrong? And blah blah blah. Again, that's not your worry. That's what that person has to do is go away and consider, why have I reacted like that to what Karen has just said? And that's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. So it goes full circle what we just said right at the beginning, or what I said right at the beginning. When we talk about energy, spirituality, the whole lot, what is it all about? Ourselves. Everything is about us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Simon, gosh, sometimes I check in with some people in the morning, because we want to make sure we're on this side of the grass. And sometimes, well, I should say many times, a couple of those people are complaining and going down the road of complaining, complaining, complaining. I don't get caught up in that. I try not to make comments about that. But then I I want them to feel heard too and not ignored, but I don't want my energy to shift down either.
Mm.
So I don't know if there's a
Well, that's
solution to
right.
that.
This is another thing that's actually uh, you can see this in a couple of different angles. You can see it on a
Mhm.
spiritual level, and you also can see it on a human level. And it's about protecting your own energy.
Right.
So yes, we've got friends, family, close ones that sometimes just want to sound off. They got things going on in their life they're not happy about or they're dealing with, and like you said, they want to complain, whinge, moan.
Hmm.
They want to be heard, and I can do that. I can just sit there, not say anything, let someone scream, shout, whinge, moan, whatever it is they want to do, not a problem. But like you say, how do I stop myself from then getting off from that conversation, whether it's on the phone or
Yeah,
face to face, without feeling,
like I'm
I feel
ignoring them.
really low now because, oh, yeah, they
Mhm.
put me in a real bad mood. They didn't put you in a bad They didn't bad mood. You put yourself in that bad mood.
Yeah.
Because, A, if you want to be really clinical about it, one, you put yourself in that position to listen to that in the first place. So by doing that, you need to take ownership of, I take responsibility to give someone space to allow them to sound off.
Okay.
Two, tell yourself, this ain't yours. That was somebody else that's sounding off. That's yours. Yeah, you fine. Yeah. No problem. I'm going to carry on skipping through my life being happy down this way.
But do I acknowledge that? Do I
Yes.
acknowledge?
Yeah,
Okay.
acknowledge it to yourself. It's, this isn't mine. I've just given that person space to allow them to vent, to allow them to release, to allow them to do whatever. But whatever their problems are, you can't solve them. Only
No.
they can solve them. You may be able to give them advice or, a bit like that for a bit of friendly advice, but what they then do and go away and what decisions they make is entirely them. So when someone's sounding off, let them sound off. That's fine. It don't bother me. But as long as they take ownership of what they've just sounded off about, take it away with them. As regards me, it's not mine. Why should I? Why should I take it on when they're talking about somebody else or something that's got nothing to do with me? I can sympathise with them and I can give them sympathy and I can give them empathy. I can give them advice. I'll even help them out if I can. But why should I take on that emotional lower
Baggage.
vibration?
Yeah, the lower
Exactly.
vibration. Yeah.
That isn't mine.
Yeah.
That
And
isn't
I don't
mine.
like starting my way like that either.
Huh?
You know, pulling that out.
So
Oh God.
it's multiple things. It's multiple things, and just be aware of it. Be aware of how you feel. So you're right in saying that. If I feel bad after someone has just sort of said what they've said to me, then if you feel bad because of it, then what they've just said, something of what they've just said has reminded you or triggered you of something in your life. So
Mhm. Mhm.
even if I walk away feeling bad, I don't have a go at that person or I don't blame that person. I will then go, okay, why have I felt bad by what they've just said? Because what they've just said has got nothing to do with me. So what has
Um,
it reminded me of in my own life?
I think I need to clarify a little bit. What I feel bad about is I don't always acknowledge those things that they're saying.
Right.
That and I feel badly that I don't acknowledge it, but I don't want to go down that
But
road
why do you but why do you need to acknowledge it?
because we're
You're
talking.
giving some exactly, but you're giving someone space talking on the phone, allowing them to, criticize, whinge, whatever it is they want to sound off about. You're giving them that space. Why does that then require you to acknowledge?
Because we're
Because
having a
it's not
conversation.
your yeah, but you are acknowledged by having that conversation and giving them that space to talk about it. It's not your place to give them solutions.
Why I can't just be quiet. I'm
Yeah, but
not.
you can talk to them. I can understand you could talk to them, but this is what I'm saying. But by talking to them, you're acknowledging them. I'm trying to clear up how you mean acknowledging them.
I
Do
have to
you
work on.
feel? Do you then feel that you're then obligated to have to do something for them?
I feel like I need to validate their feelings.
Right. In other words, agree with them or do something wrong or whatever. That's not your place. And for them, and if that person believes that's what you should be doing, then that's on them, not on you. Because if they say something that you don't agree with, then you should
Oh, then
just
I
be
don't
true and
validate.
honest to say, I
Yeah,
don't agree with that, or I don't see it
I
that
do
way.
that. Yeah,
That's
do
fine then. So you're doing the acknowledging. You don't just by agreeing with someone is not always helpful.
hmm
Sometimes people need someone to turn around and say, actually, no, I don't agree with that.
Well, I'll say, well, I have a different take on this, and I'll say something, and then it's radio silent. Nobody says anything. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I put it out there.
That's
I,
fine because you've
yeah,
put it out there and then you make
mhm,
people go, oh, I haven't thought of it like that.
yeah,
This is where I talk about communication
hmm
because we need to, because someone could be, we've all done it. We can see something or we believe how we're seeing it. That's the truth. But someone could come along and say, well, actually, this is how I saw it. And you go, oh, yeah, I didn't think of it like that.
which is very eye opening when that happens. I didn't
Exactly.
think of it that way. Yeah.
So this is where communication, but as regards feeling bad afterwards because you don't feel that you validated them,
hmm
that's on them, darling, not on you in my eyes, because all you were doing was speaking your truth.
Right. Right. And which you should be true to yourself.
Exactly.
To thine
So
own self be true.
I think more of it, we can sometimes get confused between validation and acknowledgement and all that and empathy because you can still empathize with someone, you can still empathize with the situation they're in, but it
hmm
doesn't mean to say you have to get involved or agree with it or agree with them. It's just you can
Yeah.
understand that them as an individual is suffering because of what they're struggling to go through.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for that. I appreciate that so much.
Again, we
Simon,
put too much. I think sometimes, again, this is part of the human construct. We put too much emphasis on we must do this, we must do that. And if I'm feeling bad, then I must have done something to them or how we're feeling about them. But it was them that approached you to have that
yeah.
space,
hmm
So it's not about getting better, it's not about blame, and it's not about anything else. You can just get on with your life and carry on and everything be happy. You just and they deal with it and you're still friends and everything's okay. We we just put too much emphasis on outward things when we should concentrate on looking at ourselves. I think is all I'm
Right.
saying.
Looking inside. Simon, you've come on the show a lot, and I love it. And I always take so many tidbits, and I'm not just trying to butter you up or anything, you know that, but you always share your knowledge. Is that your way of being of service? Because you share so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, because especially this, I like the way you put it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, and I try and live my life in a certain way, and I make mistakes. I make mistakes. I think I do things the right way, and I get it wrong,
Hmm.
and things like that. And we all make mistakes. No one's absolutely perfect. This is what I'm saying. Everybody's just trying to, you know, be the best version of themselves that they can be.
Yes. Hmm.
Again, and in that we make mistakes. That doesn't mean to say people are bad people. Doesn't mean to say they're horrible people. It means they made a mistake. Let's, you know, learn from it. Whatever. Let's move on and everything else. But secrets, how I talk to knowledge and stuff like that. It's a thing of me. I've always. I come from a background that the more knowledge you had, the more money it would cost you. You know, people wouldn't tell you certain things because if they did, then they'd think that you'll get further on in life and all that. Whereas I'm not. I'm one of these of knowledge is knowledge. Let's just spread it out. And if
Yeah.
someone and if my knowledge or what I say or my experiences are can help one person, great. I've helped one person. If it helps nobody, fine, not a problem. Um, I personally just have an issue with if I've got a knowledge that can help somebody, why would I keep it to myself?
Well, a lot of people want to be paid for that knowledge through classes or
That's half of my
courses.
problem because I've struggled when the spiritual side on the financial side of things, just living and surviving, and that's not a worries me thing. It's just how it is, and I'm okay with that. But I've just I'm not talking about readings or things like that, but I'm talking about, you know,
Mhm.
how we are as human beings and just life in general. If I've got a knowledge of something that could help somebody, why wouldn't I part with that knowledge? It's
I
I
agree.
don't. Maybe it's
I
the wrong way
agree.
of looking at things. Maybe it
Mhm.
causes
No.
problems in my own life that way of thinking. But
Hmm.
I do get to a point. Is if I've got it and I can help somebody, then so be it. Help them.
Yeah. Because you drop that little pebble and those ripples go out to so many when you do that, when you come on the
I
show and
like
the
to
way
think
you leave
that.
your.
I like to
Mhm.
think that, and I like to believe that. Now, I'm not waiting for evidence to prove that, so I can say, "Oh, look at me."
Well,
It's just
I feel
more
it.
of, yeah. Well, again,
Mhm.
I do it for. I hopefully, I try to do it for the right reasons. Again, I make mistakes myself over the years, and I try and sort of learn from them and move on. It's just yeah, we're going full circle again. I'm just knowing everything is about us individually at the moment. We're all connected, I grant you, and we all come from the same source of energy. However, we do have individual consciousnesses, and it's about how we want to move forward and improve ourselves as people. So
Right.
that's why it's a good thing to sit down and actually ask yourself, how could I have done things better?
I like that. And have you ever thought about writing a book?
Plenty of times, actually, plenty of times, fiction and non-fiction. But whether I've got round to it, uh, I've been told quite recently I should be writing a book with my own words, but I often think if I start writing a book, I'll end up getting halfway through and it'll be like all about 10 different books all rolled into one because I'll be so confused with what I'm writing about.
I would encourage you to write a book. I think that your word needs to reach a larger audience.
Well, I'm hoping that, and this is not saying that my word will get out there and it'll be different to what how I've been working sort of over the years, not just mediumship and psychic work, but this kind of thing that we're talking about. I just,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, Karen, I just want people to be happy. I know that sounds really simple and all that, but at the basis of anything that I do in life, I just want people to be happy, including myself. um,
But
and
that
that's actually
resonates with me. That's how I feel. That resonates with me.
that's
Yeah.
all I want is people to be
Hmm.
happy. But I
Hmm.
will also hold my hand up and realize in my own journey, and I think people can relate to this, and I think even you can.
Mm-hmm.
That fundamental core of just wanting people to be happy, but got so strong and powerful in me that not many years ago I got to a point where I completely forgot about me, about what made me happy.
Oh, really?
So you have to be careful of that. That's what I'm saying. Just because you think you're doing a good thing doesn't mean to say you're not doing it from a place of ego, or you can get into ego without even realizing it and suddenly think, why is this all going wrong for me? I'm just doing nice for people. Well, it's because you haven't spent some time on you. You forgot about this aspect of your life, that part of your life, and that's why all this is falling and collapsing.
Oh, good,
You see what
good.
I mean?
Yeah, I
So
understand.
being
Mm-hmm.
happy and doing good things isn't just about other people. It's about you and self love. You've got to be happy first.
And don't you think you have to have that self-love for yourself first too?
That's what I mean. The self
Mm-hmm.
love first, the happiness
Mm-hmm. The
first. When
happiness, yeah.
you're right first, then you can go out into the world and spread as much light and love and be
You're
the
right.
person you want to be. But
Yeah.
and even then, occasionally, just stop and then give yourself some time. Take it easy on yourself. Have a few days off. Take yourself on holiday. Whatever it is you do that makes you feel good, makes you feel happy. Do
Right.
that, because then you can go out and think. Because if you're going out in the work and you're unhappy in yourself, and you think that helping others is what's going to make you feel happier, I'm sorry, you're going to be on a very long road.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love having you on. I love chatting with you. I seriously do.
It's just again, it's just I love it all, and I love chatting about all this stuff, and I'll talk to anybody about any subject and about spirituality and everything else.
Mhm.
But one of the things I've noticed about all of them, and like I say, I've met some lovely, learned people, amazing people, experts in their fields, and everything else. But it all comes down to one thing. Everything is about us. I keep going on about this whole spiritual journey, this whole life we live. Everything is about ourselves,
Yes.
us,
Mhm.
individually, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever you like to call it. All of them,
Mhm.
put it together, whatever. We're layers, and it's all
Mhm.
about us and how we are as people. And I
Yeah.
think the more the world individually sees that, then that combined energy, like I say, we're in the middle of the moment of battle of the light and the dark and evil and everything else. But light, at this moment in the light, if you can be the light and carry on being the light, no matter what's going on in your life, you'll be fine.
God, that's a great way to end the show. And I'm glad you mentioned about that battle too that we're experiencing right now also. Yeah.
Thank you
Simon,
ever so much, Aaron, as always.
is there anything else you'd like to say before we
No,
sign?
no, just good luck to everyone. This next month is going to be another transition period. Go with it. Go with the flow. By the end of March, going into April, May, people are going to start seeing things differently. Trust me.
Yeah. And remember the three breaths, you guys. Take the three breaths. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, Simon, thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, Karen.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.